Hello friends and enemies, it's me Isabel here with my mid-month wrap-up check-in situation. It has been a busy month, so there are a couple things I want to give updates on that I normally wouldn't give updates on in a mid-month, but this month does have two challenges that I think I would like to just mention at the very least. So first up is 30 and 30 is happening this month, which means yes, this wrap-up is packed with manga. We'll get to that later. And I've read 17 out of my 30 volumes and my stretch goal would be about 45. We'll see what I manage. I have been reading a couple a night almost right now, it feels like. Or at least one day I may not read any, the next I read 4. So that's where we're at. I feel really good with my progress so far. I like being ahead, especially with the holidays headed our way, so that's great. The other thing I want to quickly touch on is Bethany over at Beautifully Bookish Bethany's hosting NanoReaMo, where you read more pages than normal. So on top of 30 and 30, I am trying to read a lot. And my current goal is 7,500 pages, so 7,500 pages. I have to up that goal, y'all. And I don't know what to up it to. So let me know in the comments what you think I should stretch towards on this, because I'm currently at 5,822 pages because of the amount of manga I have read and some graphic novels as well. So I don't know, I'm debating 10K. I think that's gonna be our stretch. Wild to hit 15, but I don't know that I can manage that. Like, I'm not 100% sure I could do that, but maybe. Let me know. Let me in the comments what you think I should try and hit. What should be my pie in the sky goal? Because obviously also knowing holidays are coming up, there's just a lot that could get in the way, but yeah. Do I do 10K? Do I do 12, 15? Like, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. So first up, we are gonna dive right into all the books I've read so far this month, which is not a lot. And I will have timestamps for you down below if you wanna skip around and see different sections, because I know that every bit isn't for everybody, so take your pick and let's talk about the books I read. The first book I kicked November 1st off with was A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I've not called her Julie Simone. No, it's their writing duo. This was absolutely delightful. I give this 4 stars. This is a solid Christmas romance. It had such fun body positivity and sex positivity in it. We also had 2 bisexual main characters, which I was thrilled about personally. And this follows B, who is cast in a Hallmark movie equivalent of a Christmas movie with her former boy band crush, who's a known bad boy and looking to be reformed in the public's eyes. And it follows their romance and it's just precious. Also, he recognizes her from her OnlyFans basically equivalent, and it's very steamy. It has everything I expect from Sierra Simone, and it also has everything I expect from a Julie Murphy book. I haven't read a ton of Julie Murphy, well, she doesn't have a ton of adult books, so I've read her one adult book, the If the Shoe Fits, which was Closed Door Fade to Black, and I really enjoyed it. So having Sierra there to write the spicy scenes was de-freaking-lightful. This was just really, really cute. It was like the perfect holiday book to put me in the mood for the holiday season. And yeah, I adored this. Highly recommend if you're interested in it. If it's like piqued your interest, I do think it's worth a read. I think it's such an enjoyable book. Then I read The Darkest Fire by Gina Showalter. I had this on my Audible and I was just looking for something really quick to listen to. I think it's because I have the sequel. I think I have book 2 that I got as an arc from the Bonkers Romance Book Club. So because of that, I picked up the first 0.5 novella. I gave it a 3. It's like a 3. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's very, very short. It's kind of like setting up the world from what I was understanding. And I feel like it was one of those prequel novellas that like reading it first wasn't beneficial. Like I feel like I needed to have read book 1 at least and then gone back and read it, and it would have given me better context. It was fine. It was literally like a 45-minute listen, sped up. So again, very quick, and I just don't have a lot of thoughts about it. But like, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't like amazing. Then I read The Demon's Bargain by Katie Robert, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm finding that the Peculiar Taste books for me are like 3.5 to 4.5 star range. None of them have been like a 5-star blow me out the water, which is disappointing, but like not, like I didn't expect them to be. This was really great. I loved the non-binary representation in this. It was really helpful, I think, for those of us who don't have a lot of experience identifying as non-binary to like understand the fluidity of gender, which like I do understand in my brain, but you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I have days where I'm like, yeah, I want to be more masculine or this or that. Who knows? That's a whole other conversation. Anyways, this was really good. There is pegging, so if you're looking for the pegging, there is pegging in this book. It does pay off, and it's like kind of magical pegging in a really fun way. I did get very nervous at one point. I was like, Katie, if you don't give me pegging in this book, we are gonna be fighting. But she did tease it and then immediately do it within like a chapter. So we are good. This follows a witch who's she's also morally gray, and he's kind of morally gray. He's the bargaining demon. We do meet him in The Dragon's Bride, and he's in the other books. And she is off to retrieve a relic of her family's that has been stolen, basically this necklace, and is going to enter into a bargain with him to do so. And it's just really, really fun. And I love the fact that like we have a witch that isn't good, because we have a onslaught right now of these like, I'm gonna call them bewitched witches. They feel very not witchy to me. They're all very like pure and sweet, and I want a badass witch like constantly when I pick these books up, and that is not what I'm getting. I am getting like cute fluffy rom-com-y witches, which I also like. It's just not this, which is like a bit more of a badass witch, you know? Plus our demon has you know, like 2 horns and lots of just great things happening here. Honestly, I really loved this. He's part demon and part gargoyle, which also is a really interesting pairing. But yeah, this was a great one. We continued our journey into the market, and that was really fun. Then I listened to Cocky Client by Whitney G. This is a 4-star read for me. This was one of those just really, really quick novellas that I could bust through while I ran errands one day. Again, I listened to it on audio, and it's a very, very short audio. Like I think it was an hour. Sped up for me, if that. And this was really fun. This is about a guy whose PR people keep quitting and he has to save his image, and he hooked up with this girl, and oh lo and behold, the next day it's her PR firm they're hiring, and she's not here for his shit. And you know, I love a take no shit heroine, and I love a hero who needs to be put in his place from his bad behavior, and that is 100% this to an extent. She's like, I'm not tolerating you. It's Whitney G, so super steamy, great smut, just a fun, quick read, which is exactly what I wanted in that moment. Then I listened to Sasha Masha by Agnes Borensky. I think I'm saying that right. This is an arc I got from the Libro FM ALC program, where each month influencers can get arcs. So this is one that I got in like 2020. This is another short novella audiobook. I think the full length is like 3.5 hours. I think this is one of those reads that's really hard for me to rate. I'm hovering around a 3.5, 4. It really dives into an internal dialogue and struggle of gender identity and feeling comfortable in your skin as a teen, which I really enjoyed that aspect of it. It has some content warnings here though for like transmesia and queermesia and just like that stuff. It's in my Goodreads review if you need like a full list though, so highly recommend you check that out before you dive in if you have any need to know those content notes ahead of time. Oh yeah, dead naming and like themes of coming out slash like. This follows our main character who has, his best friend has moved across the country now, and he used to go to like the queer events in town with them, and then he starts dating this girl and is feeling things like, do I really like them or not? Shares his name with people as Sasha Masha and then gets laughed at. This was just a hard read. And it really just follows the journey of being a teen and coming out and figuring things out and how fluid things are. I think this is one of those ones that like you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, or you're gonna be like me and you fall right in the middle. Again, it's like a very brief snapshot of this person's life, and I really liked that aspect of it. I think it was really well done. I blew through it very quickly, so there's that. Like, it's very readable or listenable, we shall say. Okay, so we talked about the HarperCollins strike in Romancelandia Monthly, and the only reason I'm talking about this is because I did read it right before the strike happened. I finished it up, so members, you will be getting a vlog this week. I have to edit it. And that's been my main struggle right now, is actually like sitting down and editing videos in a timely fashion. So it is life. But this is my pre-order copy of Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. The only thing I'm gonna say here is if it's piqued your interest, it's a 6-star for me and I loved it. When the strike is over, I will do some more in-depth things on this. It will definitely be on a lot of rec lists. But this is the 3rd book in her series. And yeah, this cover, like, It's amazing. So that's, this is the regular cover, by the way. It's also amazing, but getting the is so good. Anyways, I love this series. I loved this book. It was absolutely incredible. I loved having 2 fat main characters. That's all I'm going to say about it. If it's on your radar, don't feel like you can't pick it up because of the strike, because the strike did not, the union did not say not to buy books, but don't review them. So we're just mentioning it and moving on. All right, y'all, we're gonna dive into manga, or no, into comics next. So I'm gonna speed run the comics because if you want full thoughts, you can watch the video where I really like dive in as I'm reading them, but we'll give ratings and talk about if I'm gonna continue them or not. All right, first up, we have Why the Last Man, book 1. This was a 4 for me, we're gonna say. I really liked this. I think it's interesting because it's such a historical piece of comics fiction, which like you may not think that, but like truly it is. I feel like it's something I see referenced constantly and talked about all the time from people who got into the comics scene in like the 2000s. So this book was really good, but it is full of slurs that are very jarring to read in 2022, especially written by a white man. That's all I got, you know, but I do want to continue it and I would like to finish the story because I'm curious as to where it goes and what's happening. I also appreciate that Brian has come out and said that he would change a lot of things about this book if he could now, like in 2022. So like we have recognized our wrongs. That is a good thing. I appreciate that. This is one though that follows basically everyone on Earth is dead except for one guy, Yorick, who is like not very relatable and is kind of a shit show in my opinion of a hero. And we follow his adventure finding his way to his mom and then trying to get to Australia to find his girlfriend. And it's really, really interesting. It's really interesting. It is like a very neat dystopian book and a lot of things in it like are funny to read now because I feel like it's similar conversations we're currently having around things like abortion. So, you know, it's just never ending. But yeah, I liked this. I plan to pick up the rest of these books. Okay, next I have The Lolo Woods by Carmen Maria Machado, Danny and Tamra Bonvillian. This is an amazing like horror comic, very short, very contained, which I appreciated. And I will be reading this in Halloween next year, I think. I really enjoyed this. I liked the storytelling. I liked the art. I think it's really just interesting of a read. So 5 stars here. Next we have Joliet, which is by Junie Ba. And I gave this like a 3.5. I didn't hate it. It's one that I could see myself rereading. But I found the story at times hard to follow and confusing because of the way the art and the text played together. But I really loved the art. Like this had like very Cartoon Network. It's very Cartoon Network. Early 2000s Cartoon Network, specifically like Samurai Jack and all that. So I loved that part of it. I really liked the storytelling, but again, like I said, just sometimes it just was confusing for my brain. Next, I did read March by John Lewis. I'm gonna be picking up the other volumes of this series and his new series run because this was really cool. This was really interesting. I'm not surprised that this is good, but I think it's a really great way to read historical memoir, not historical. What is historical? Read historical events and also a memoir in a visual format, which is something I really, really enjoy personally. So I'm really excited to read more of this set and finish it up. But yeah, this was really great. I highly recommend it. I gave it 5 stars. If you're looking for something like this, I think it's a great option, especially for kids who are maybe into graphic novels and also slightly interested in history. Like I feel like it's the perfect mix. So there's that, and also for adults personally. Okay, so next we have The Best We Could Do by T. Boo. I feel like I'm saying that wrong and I don't know. No, there's no pronunciation in the back. Okay, it's fine. Anyways, this was a stunning depiction of grief and trauma and war and immigration and just all the things it does to a family and to generations to follow. Highly, highly, highly recommend this. I also gave this 5 stars and I cannot wait to revisit it. All right, and last but not least is Far Sector, which is N.K. Jemisin's Green Lantern. And this was really fun. I'm not a big Green Lantern fan, which I talked about in the video. I did give this 5 stars as well. Like, it's just really good, honestly. I was surprised at how much I liked this. I loved the rep in it. I loved the discussion on like emotions and everything else. It's something that I've still thought about multiple times after finishing. Yeah, and the art's stunning. So Jamal Campbell did an amazing job on the art, and whoever did lettering and everything else, like seriously, this was killer. If you're gonna pick up one like comic based graphic novel bind up, and you like N.K. Jemisin and you haven't read this, or you like sci-fi fantasy stuff, this is the one I'm gonna say pick up. So you like don't need a ton of context on Green Lanterns to read that. All right, next is the manga. I'm gonna hold up the whole stack of volume 1s I've read so far, because on Thursday, y'all are getting a vlog where I read a bunch of volume 1s. Like this is what I've read so far as of recording today, and I'm gonna finish a couple more before I put that video up. Okay, it's so many I can barely hold it up, but see, all of this, 15 volumes so far. My goal is to get through 5 more before that video goes up on Thursday. So we'll see. Now, I'm not gonna tell you all the titles. I'll have them linked down below if you're curious, but I'm gonna tell you the ones that I'm prioritizing to continue reading sooner than later. Okay, so of what I've read so far, the priority continuation ones are Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost. I really liked this. It's a really interesting and weird sort of Beauty and the Beast retelling. He's a little more demonic, so I just like, I need to know. I need to know more. The next one is BL Metamorphosis. So I picked this up a while ago. I picked up volumes 1 through 3 because they were hard to find, and I have 2 and 3 to read still, and I loved this. This is about a girl who works at a bookstore and this little old lady who picks up her first BL in a long time, I think, or ever. And they have a bond where they start talking to each other about different BL books, and it's just really, really sweet. She's like, I don't know, it's just like precious. I mean, you can see it on the cover. This just, I don't know, warm fuzzies all around. And we have the Apothecary Diaries, which I'm so mad I waited so long to pick up, and I cannot wait to pick up the other 2 volumes on my shelf and pick up the next 3 to read, because this was amazing. I absolutely adored this. I cannot wait to be caught up with the Apothecary Diaries, seriously. If you want a fantasy book about a girl who's been kidnapped and forced into servitude, but is like refusing to do more than extra because she doesn't want her kidnappers to make more money off of her, this is the book for you. It's so fun. She solves like a mystery about what's killing the babies and some of the concubines, so that's really interesting, which propels her out of what she's attempting to do. Then we have Manly Appetites Volume 1. I'm so mad I waited so long on this. Shay got this for me, I think, last year for Christmas, and I hadn't read it yet, and I finally did, obviously, for this video, and there's only 3 volumes, and I need to read all 3. This is about a coworker who brings his other coworker friends who he thinks is really cute and handsome and chubby, and the other guy like thinks he's being mean to him, and it's just very precious, and he just loves to watch him eat and to make sure he's well fed. It's adorable. Sounds like a cannibal, but it's not. It's not. It's not like weird. It's really cute. Okay, then we have The Dragon Knight's Beloved. This surprised me. So I actually picked the volume 3 up in this series, so I ended up picking up the other 2, and I finally read it. The art in this is stunning. This follows a girl who is a maid, and she has befriended a lot of the dragons that the knights ride. And at 16, she has to leave the castle if she wants to be able to work there again after she's married. So in doing so, she ends up in a fake relationship with one of the dragon knights who is not exactly who she thought he was. And it's really interesting how all of this plays out. And I just cannot wait to pick up the next 2 volumes. And I think that's all it's out. And then last but not least is the Bean Count. Hold on. The Other Worlds books depend on the Bean Counter, or Bean Counter as I will call it from henceforth, because that's a mouthful. This surprised me but didn't, because Shay loves it. So I had a feeling I would also enjoy it. But I read this and was just like, oh gosh, I need volume 2 immediately. But I couldn't read volume 2 because I'm trying to only read volume 1s right now. So this is about a guy that accidentally gets transported to another world with the girl who's supposed to be the world's savior, and he discovers that their books are off. He's an accountant in real life, and him and this like knight guy kind of start having this weird tension romance, and it's very cute, very sweet. And yeah, this was adorable. I was stunned at how much I liked this, because it definitely, like the title and stuff makes it sound like it's not going to be as interesting of a read as it is, but this was absolutely amazing. All right, so that's all the volume 1s that I'm going to be prioritizing the rest of the series in. And then I did read 2 volume 2s, because y'all know that when steamship books come out, am I waiting? No, I'm not waiting. So first I did read Outbride, Beauty and the Beast volume 2. The issue I was concerned about at volume 1's end is resolved very quickly and handled, but we get a reveal in this volume, which I gave like 4.5 stars, 5 stars. That has me on my toes and dying for volume 3, which we have to wait till the new year. Cause like that was quite the reveal, y'all. To go from thinking everything was fine and not questionable to a lot of questions being raised. Volume 2 did it. So I loved this. I cannot wait for volume 3 at all. And then the last one we have is I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess volume 2, which I'm giving a 4 star to. I really liked the continuation of this. I think it was really interesting. We kind of have another love interest introduced in this volume, so I'm curious to see where that goes. This one was definitely more plot heavy, less sexy and smutty, which is okay. Like, we don't have to have like intense smut in every book, but this was really fun to watch Liddy kind of have to come out to her family that, yeah, she did meet the prince on the night of the ball, and some things about like her flower tattoo was revealed. So a lot of that was really, really interesting in my opinion, and I'm really curious to see where we go in volume 3. I'm also sad we have to wait so long. So last, we are quickly gonna run through what is on my currently reading shelf right now that I can talk about at least, because there's one book right now that I can't talk about. First up, we have Something in the Gale by Olivia Dade. This is a short story collection about some other characters from There's Something About Marysburg. And I'm really excited to finally listen to it. I saw that it was on Scribd, and I was like, holy crap, how have I not noticed that it's on Scribd, first of all? So perfect chance to pick it up. This wasn't picked up because I was waiting for another book that I had started that got returned to the library to come back in. So that book is A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Lin. This I'm really enjoying so far. I'm only about 25% in, and I'm really hopeful that I will finish it up in the next week or so. It's YA fantasy, and I picked it up thinking I was in the mood for that, and I don't know if I am, but I'm really liking the world building, so I'm continuing it. That's the current plan, at the very least, for myself with this one. We'll see how that goes and if it pays off for me, but I would like to finish it this week because I've like checked it out a couple times now and like not finished it. So I'm reading that. And then the last thing is I'm reading He Who Haunts Me by Kenna Bell Ray. I was on her ARC team and I did not get to the book in time for the release. So I'm reading this. This is a romantic suspense with like a 7-foot tall hero almost, and a really kind of introverted female main character that's been very interesting to read. And I'm enjoying it so far. She experienced some kind of trauma that we've not gotten to yet. I do want to note that I thought it was really cool something this author did. So there's a chapter that is really gruesome and very horrific to read. And right before that chapter, she has a whole thing about how you can skip this chapter and you're not going to miss anything and all that. And I really appreciate it. I didn't skip the chapter and I almost could have. Like, I really could have. Like, you can skip it and you will not miss anything. And I deeply appreciated that fact. And yeah, this one has a lot of content warnings though. Like, y'all, there's a lot. So there's like death of a parent, rape, murder, knife violence, graphic sexual content, prior abusive relationship, abusive childhood, drugging, and like stuff like that. So I went and grabbed that from one of my friends' reviews just so I made sure I had the full list. But this I'm actually quite liking so far, and I'm really excited to finish it up. I just kind of like have been bouncing around between a lot of books right now, and I need to stop doing that and actually finish the things I'm reading. So those are my current reads. If you made it this far, let me know how high of a goal you think I should increase my NanoReaMo to, and if you don't want to do that, you can leave me a rose emoji of your choice, or another rose or another flower, your choice. Take your pick. I don't know if there's multiple roses. Anyways, flower emoji in the comments, as I will have everything that I talked about linked in the description box for you, as well as all the other volume ones I read, and links to be my friend anywhere on the internet. And I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get away.